Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. Guys, happy Wednesday, middle of the working week. Well, for the most of the world, right? It might be, for you, it might be day off. I was thinking of taking a day off today because I felt just so tired after the work I did yesterday. Yesterday, I wrote a blog post. Check it out on Create Yourself That Today. It's about how my friend Charlie, developer, game designer, lost his never-ending hunger, and also a review of this new book that's called Why Calories Don't Count by Dr. Giles Yeo. I'm not sure his Chinese origin, so can't pronounce his name, but he's from Cambridge. He's based in Cambridge, and as his academic scientific career, he studies weight loss, and also, of course, health and diets and metabolism, a lot of interesting things. So he came up with this book recently, Why Calories Don't Count, and I read it, and a review is in that blog also. Plus, you'll find out what's the best way to eat to not just lose your hunger and stay hunger free and finally be satisfied with your meals. But also you learn, why calories don't really count and what you should pay more attention to for health and maintenance of your ideal body weight. And just a great blog to make you think about food in the way that supports your health and your well-being, instead of reading more about diets or calories or carbs. So check it out. It's on Create Yourself That Today, right on the homepage. It's the latest, the last blog. So check this out. And today, as you guessed it, we're talking about vegetables and where to spend your money when it comes to vegetables and where to spend your chewing time. Because guys, we don't have unlimited amount of time, and a lot of you, if you are a type A, if you are an entrepreneur, a techie, if you are someone who is passionate about something and wants something happen, you might even be thinking about biohacking your way through eating, maybe doing some meal replacement shakes, or you're thinking about all these many ways to eat healthy, to take care of yourself, because you know your performance, your life depend on it, but also to save some time, and be more effective. You probably don't live to just eat. You probably live to do something in this life. So anyhow, guys, there are vegetables that are worth your money and your chewing time, and then there are other vegetables that aren't that so, even though they appear so healthy. For example, lettuces, iceberg lettuce, but also all kinds of other lettuces, romaine, and all kinds of lettuces that look like cabbages, those round lettuces. Also, in general, a lot of salad greens you'll find in salad mixes or in those fancy salads that can cost from 3 to 5, sometimes even more pounds. There are all these salads with a lot of greenery going on inside, plus some sugary dressing with a lot of other experimental and very questionable ingredients. And maybe if you like it, there is some protein in the form of chicken. And so those salads, they aren't really worth those money. Guys, the greens in those salads, they have very little to no nutrition. They have very little to no fiber. They have a lot of water, and they have green color, so chlorophyll, you'll get some of that too. To give you an idea, like for example, even for fiber, lettuce, for 100 gram of lettuce, and that's a lot of lettuce because lettuce, as you know, it's very light in weight. So 100 grams of lettuce, and most salads would have maybe like 50 grams. I don't even know, that was so long I bought any salads, but usually an average salad mix would have about 70-80 grams of greens altogether. So anyhow, 100 grams of lettuce have only 1.5 grams of fiber. You have to eat a whole lot of lettuce to get to recommended 25 or 30 grams of fiber. Even to 20 grams of fiber. That's why a lot of people eating a lot of salads don't end up eating a lot of fiber, because those tender leafy vegetables, lettuce-like leafy vegetables, they just don't have a lot of fiber. They don't have a lot of anything, actually. Most of it is water. They're very poor in nutrition compared to other vegetables that are among the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet per bite, per calorie, especially because vegetables are still very volumatic, meaning they have a lot of water, and those more powerful greens also have a lot of fiber. And so maybe per volume, they might not, be as rich as something really dense in nutrients, but they still are very, very nutritious when it comes per serving per calorie, and definitely more nutritious than your lettuce, and they're worth the money and the chewing time. And these are the ones you need to cook in bulk. Put them maybe in your fridge if you don't want to cook every day, and eat them every single day. I recommend a couple of servings per day and more. And a serving is about 150 grams of those vegetables. So what are those vegetables that I'm talking about that are worth the money, the time to eat, to cook them? So Brussels sprouts, broccoli, spinach, Swiss chard, collard greens, asparagus, kale, or Chinese kale, all kinds of kales. So these vegetables, they are more not so tender leafy vegetables, but also not leafy vegetables like broccoli or Brussels sprouts or asparagus. So these vegetables would have per 100 grams about 5 grams of fiber, compared to 1.5 gram in lettuce, right? They have much more nutrition, all the vitamins and minerals that you can imagine. They have more of them, from folate to vitamin C to vitamin K, to all kinds of antioxidants, and there are different minerals, from potassium to magnesium, to all of these minerals that people tend to not eat a lot because of the quality of their diet. So these are the most nutritious vegetables. Again, let me read you the list and re-listen if you need to write it down. So broccoli, Brussels sprouts, spinach, Swiss chard. If you don't know what that vegetable is, just look it up. I grew up in Siberia where I did not see any of those vegetables. Even broccoli was quite a late occurrence in my life. I think I tried it maybe in university. Yeah, so I didn't grow up eating all these vegetables. I had to learn, what they are, how nutritious they are, and how to cook them to make them delicious. So Brussels, broccoli, spinach, Swiss chard, collard greens, asparagus, all kinds of kale. These vegetables, they are very, very high in nutrients, very, very low in calories. And if you want to go for fiber, then go for not leafy vegetables like Brussels sprouts and broccoli especially. Also, asparagus has this prebiotic fiber that is especially beneficial to our gut. Gut loves this kind of fiber. The really important thing about these vegetables, you want to learn how to make them delicious. So you like eating them. You also need to learn how to make them convenient, so it doesn't feel like a lot of work for you to prepare them and eat them every day. So the way I suggest doing that, as I suggest to all of my clients I worked with, number one, make sure that when you cook these vegetables, you either cook it with other foods, like your protein-rich foods, I don't know, maybe meat, chicken, or seafood. Make sure that you add some flavors that you like in the form of natural herbs and spices. Maybe, add some lemon juice. Make sure to add some, make sure to cook them with your food, or at least mix them with your food. Although when you cook them with your food, they absorb all the flavors, of course, much better. But do add some herbs, some spices, maybe your favorite sauce or dressing, maybe some healthy ketchup. Add all of that to your vegetables. One of my favorite ways to cook Brussels sprouts, for example, is to simply roast them with olive oil and garlic and black pepper and salt. So what I would do is I would put a couple of spoons of olive oil in a Ziploc bag or any plastic, small bag like for food. I would put some salt there, to your taste. I would put some black pepper, any other herbs or spices really, and I would put cloves of garlic, usually cut in half to give out more flavor. So I would put it in this plastic Ziploc bag. I would cut my Brussels sprouts in half, and I would mix it all together really well in that bag. And then I would put it on a tray that you put into your oven for 200 degrees Celsius for about, I'd say 30 minutes, depends on the size of your Brussels sprouts. And then I can eat like a bucket of those Brussels sprouts, and you can cook them in bulk. So you can make a lot of Brussels sprouts and then eat them for 4 to 5 days. That's how long usually the vegetables stay good. Also, you can freeze them, and that can make them last longer, and then you just defrost them and reheat them. So make them flavorful. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. A lot of people make this mistake. They just steam vegetables, and like for me, steamed Brussels sprouts, for example, this is the most disgusting thing on entire planet. That's why, first time with Brussels sprouts, it was an unfortunate experience when I tried them blend without anything really, just steamed, and they tasted so awful to me. So I thought the Brussels sprouts is a no-go. But then at Whole Foods, actually, in US, in New York, I tried Brussels sprouts, roasted with garlic, olive oil, and black pepper and salt, and I fell in love with them immediately. And then I started mixing them with other spices, and it made it into a completely new game for me. So now I'm such a fan of Brussels sprouts, but they also really high in nutrients, guys, and high in fiber. So the Brussels sprouts are high in potassium, actually very high in many nutrients. So learn how to cook them, and you're gonna love them, and your health gonna thank you for that. So, but that goes to other vegetables as well. Use spices, use herbs, use your favorite sauces. Just make sure, of course, to check the ingredient list and make sure that your vegetables don't float in weird concoction of ingredients and a lot of fat that can, create some weight issues down the road. But add freely herbs and spices to all of these vegetables, and guys, cook them. Don't eat them raw, because these are very hard to digest vegetables, and eating them without cooking them properly, and properly I mean for most of these veggies, sauteing them for 15 minutes, 17 minutes on medium heat with I usually saute in water, again with herbs, spices, and most often than not with all of my other foods. So sauteing for 15 minutes on medium heat with again, in my case, because I'm a lean freak, I saute them with water, all of my foods, herbs and spices for 15 minutes, and they are flavorful and delicious and easy to chew and eat. But also, of course, you can saute these vegetables, adding onions, mushrooms, maybe some tomato paste, and again, your favorite herbs and spices as salt. Saute them for 15 minutes in bulk, and then maybe freeze some, maybe put some in the fridge and eat them for many days. So you can spend maybe like an hour cooking a lot of vegetables on the weekend, and then you have your vegetables for the entire working week. So that's about making them simple, making them flavorful, making them convenient. And again, I recommend as a minimum to have 150 grams or 5 ounces servings per day, maybe for your lunch, for your dinner. That's going to add about 15 grams of fiber to your meals. So that's the, that's at least that you need to eat. And then things like, spinach, for example, if you're a fan of green smoothies, add it into your green smoothies. But then I, for example, add spinach everywhere. Spinach, because it's so tender, it's a little bit different from other vegetables that I saute for 15 minutes. Spinach, I cook for only 5 minutes, and I usually just add a bunch of spinach into whatever I'm cooking or heating up. So I just add spinach there, and then I mix it with my food because it cooks really fast, and it gets to be... at first it has so much volume and it seems like it's not going to fit into your food, but once it's heated, it shrinks right away and there is like no spinach, but all the minerals are preserved in that spinach. And spinach is an amazing, a really rich source of potassium. And potassium, most of you guys want to be eating for energy, for your neurons to fire, for your cells to make energy, for your muscles to contract, for your cells to stay hydrated. So potassium, most of you are not eating enough, and spinach is a great way to add quite a lot of that potassium. But again, because spinach is such a tender leafy green, but as an exception, really high in nutrients. So cook it for like 5 minutes, or again, while heating up your food, just put spinach there and then mix it with your food. To recap, there are some vegetables that are less nutritious. So salad, lettuces, all that stuff. Don't waste your money on it, please, guys. Plus, again, not so much fiber at all, not so much nutrients. And if you are spending a lot of money on it, definitely not worth it. Nutritious vegetables are vegetables like Brussels sprouts, broccoli, kale, all kinds of kales because they're different kinds. Spinach, Swiss chard, collard greens, asparagus. So these are very nutritious vegetables, and you just need to learn. Practice. At first it might not go as well, but then you learn and you'll figure out your own way to make your vegetables delicious. So 2 things: make them delicious, make them convenient, either cooking them in bulk or in any other way that suits you. Make them convenient, make them delicious, love them, and they're gonna add quite a punch into your nutritious bag, and they're gonna add a lot of fiber, vitamins, and minerals with very little calories. If you want to, see how I cook my greens, let me know. I'm gonna send you one of my videos. I do it really simply. It takes like almost no work. You can actually watch a video on my Instagram about broccoli for takis, and it's gonna show you how easy it is actually to make your broccoli fresh and super delicious, spending almost no time on cutting and all of this stuff. So check my Instagram out for that video. If you have any questions, please do reach out here or on Instagram or via email, angela@createyourself.today. Share this episode with someone who also, maybe someone you want to challenge to eat more vegetables, and also let them know that the salad they are so proud about might not be worth all the chewing time and all their money, but instead they could be eating some more nutritious vegetables. So please do share, start eating more vegetables. That's the most important thing. And guys, if you're confused about something in your nutrition, if you want to figure out what's like the optimal, the best way for you to eat to feel your best and perform your best, and look your best, just be your best. Do you want to figure out some of the details that you don't know? Because, I've been studying this for decades and I still am learning every single day. So you probably have quite a lot to learn. If you want some advice, if you want me to personalize your meal plan a little bit better according to nutrition science, please use the link in the show notes for our free but priceless Zoom nutrition insights and strategy call. So I'm gonna help you to figure out what are you doing right, what you're doing not so right, and how to do it better. So please do use it. It's very, very valuable. You're gonna learn more about nutrition that from all these years of Googling stuff. That I promise you for sure. So use this link, schedule our call, and share this episode. Watch some videos on Instagram of me chopping and cooking super delicious kale. Thank you for tuning in, guys. And as usual, till next time, eat better daily.